What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So I told you guys to ask in the comments on the last video, and you did, and David reached out to me with his Amber Ruby location deck, Jim and Tuk Tuk Against the World, and sent it on over to me so we can go over it and talk about it today. He played this at our set championships last weekend, and he managed to make top 8, won his top 8 matchup, made top 4, nearly won that one versus Sisu, but in game 3 couldn't quite get it done and ended up walking away with his Ursula nonetheless. So starting out, we see there are no 1-drops in the deck whatsoever. This format just isn't necessarily needed with them, and you might say, what about aggro? This deck has some answers for that as well. Also 15 uninkable cards, and if you're wondering, the total cost comes in at about $245. I will put the Dreamborn link for this deck also down below in the description if you want to click on it. So 3 Flynn Rider, 2 Lumiere, and 4 Mother Gothels for our 2 lineup. Makes sense, like you're playing Amber Ruby, which means Rapunzel, so you're going to play Mother Gothel for the draw engine. You have Flynn Rider, who pairs up with Lumiere very nicely, giving all your characters +1, and that Flynn Rider with the 2/2 almost on his own can answer aggro, because a lot of aggro's cards have 1 or 2 attack only. So if you put down something with 3, all of a sudden you're going to be gaining 3 lore just because of Flynn, which helps to answer those aggro decks. And other than that, if you heal Mother Gothel, well, she's a 3/4, so that can put in work on those aggro decks as well. Sisu Emboldened Warrior, the 1/4 who gains strength for opponents' cards in their hand and quests for 2. Once again, it's another card that you yourself can get aggressive with, but also your opponent has to try to deal with, because the 4 willpower means she's going to stick around and take out multiple characters of your opponents. Tuk Tuk coming in as a 3-drop as well. He's evasive and he's a 2/3, which you know what that means already. He can answer Diablo really well. And for those who don't know, when you play this character, you may move him and 1 other character to the same location for free, and the other character gains 2 strength this turn. They do need to move to gain the strength, because it's not the other character until they move. Rapunzel at 4, another multi-quester who, this is your draw engine. When you play her, you can remove up to 3 damage from an other character, and draw 1 card for each 1 damage removed this way. Other 4-drops, we have 3 Goofy Super Goof, a 2/4 rush character who's inkable, and when he challenges, you get 2 lore right away. A very good card for closing out games, a very good card to answer those aggro decks, and just a strong card overall. You can see a theme building with the deck. The majority of these cards have 4 willpower, which that pairs up really nicely with that Rapunzel. If you drop your Goofy and attack into something on turn 4, you can come back on turn 5, heal your Goofy, and challenge again and gain a couple more lore. Other 4-drops, you do have 3 Prince Eric the Uninkable. He's a 2/2, but he quests for 2, and when banished, you can banish a chosen character. So if you say crash him into an opponent's character, and if you get the best value and you take out that character and he also gets banished, you can then use him to take out another character of your opponent's. Or you can just crash him into something and then take out a big threat of your opponent's, unless you want to just quest with him too, because he does quest for 2. The Queen. We all know this card from Steel Song, and it's in here as a 2-of because, well, her attack boost can come up really big. Again, multi-quester, and a 4/3 stat line that is very, very strong. Card Shoulders being the next 5-drop. It's a 5/5, so that stat line alone makes it very strong, and that's why it doesn't have an effect. But if you don't need to challenge into your opponent, it quests for 2. Then we round out the characters with 4 Jim Hawkins and 4 Queen of Hearts. When Jim Hawkins is played, you can play a 4-cost or lower location for free, and when you play a location, you can move him there for free. His 4/4/2 questing power is a house, especially when you say play him, play an RLS Legacy, move him there. Now he has the evasive, and your other characters can move there for 1 now since you have a character there. It's a very strong play on turn 5. Queen of Hearts, we're not playing the little shift, but we're playing her, another 4/3 like the Queen. And whenever one of your characters challenges another character, you may draw a card. Keep a note, it's whenever one of your character challenges, not one of your other characters. So if she herself challenges, you do get to draw a card. Then we go into our actions, and this is where the deck speeds up even more. Your gym is a 5-cost card, and just in time, you may play a character with 5 or less cost for free. Obviously, just in time costs 3, so you're essentially playing 3 to play it. So if you have just in time, Jim Hawkins, RLS Legacy on turn 3, you're dropping them on turn 3, and that means you have a 4/4 quester, you have a strong location, and you're gaining 4 lore each turn until your opponent can do something about it. And most decks just don't have the capability to answer such a strong play on turn 3 of the game. We are playing Ruby, so you are going to see those 4 brawls in the deck as well. The card is just one of the best Ruby cards in the game, and it's crazy that it is only a common. Our locations, we're playing 3 of the underworlds. And if you're wondering, the underworld is whenever a character quests while here, you may pay 3 ink to return a character card from your discard to your hand. So kind of like Hades, the 4-drop Amber card, it allows you to recycle cards from your discard pile. And then you have 4 Tiana's Palace, which when your characters are here, they cannot be challenged. And like we said, RLS Legacy grants evasive to your characters, and with 8 willpower, it is very difficult to deal with. Gains you 2 in the process as well. So overall, I think the deck is pretty straightforward. If you can hit the just-in-time Jim Hawkins into a location, ideally RLS Legacy, you're sitting in a very, very strong play on turn 3. If you don't hit that though, dropping Frenemy, Sisu, coming back with Super Goof or your Prince Eric or even a location is a strong play line. And then you can go like turn 5 Jim Hawkins, play another location, turn 6 or even turn 5 or turn 4, assuming you have a location, I guess. If you just in time Jim Hawkins locations 3, turn 4 when you play Tuk Tuk, or turn 5, 6, etc. Play your Tuk Tuk and then move he and another character to the location for free. And then again, they gain that +2. So when you look at the deck, your draw engine is coming from the Rapunzel and the Queen of Hearts. Then you have a lot of just pressure you apply, especially if you hit your play that you want. But even if you don't hit the just in time, still having things like Sisu, like Super Goof, who not only deals with your opponent's boards but also lets you quest for or gain 2 lore in the process. Then, like we said, once you hit turn 4, pretty much all your characters quest for 2, except for the Queen of Hearts, who's your draw engine. So again, you're not necessarily worried about questing at that point. Brawl is a very good card. Say if you go 1 ink, 2 Flynn, 3 Sisu, 4 Brawl, 5 Jim Hawkins, that's another play line that you can opt to go for. But overall, I think the deck is actually really interesting, and it was a ton of fun to watch David just roll through the set championships, surprising people, beating people, and going on to get his prize card. And if I had to pick any deck that I've seen out of the many events over the first week of set championships, I think this was the spiciest deck that went home with an Ursula. Come back for next week and we will talk about a different deck that we find and go over the spiciest deck of week 2. But until then, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and if you want to track the progress of set championships of all these events, link to the spreadsheet down below. Thanks for watching. Take care.